Okay, reality vlog. I've done my theme park video about the park closures. I've done my church video. And yeah, I got passion in those, but this is where I really lay it out. In 3.5 months, we have seen over 100,000 people in the United States die from coronavirus. We're pretty sure Carl Huss, one of my college friends, died from it back on January 1st. Missionary in Mexico, doing evangelistic work. He never got tested. I know too many people that have it, too many people that have struggled with it. I quit counting on my list when I had 30 people that I knew personally that had it. And then I started adding in, let me correct that. I had a dozen that I knew personally that had it. I had over 30 people that had family members that have had it, or have it right now, or have lost a loved one to it. Those are the confirmed ones. We're starting to reopen. This is May 28th, 2020, by the way. We're starting to reopen the country. Theme parks are starting to open. Restaurants are starting to open. And the truth is when I've gone out with my mask on, because I know this is real, because I've seen how many people have suffered, I've seen how many people have died or nearly died from it, I get scorn, I get mean looks, I get gestures, because I'm wearing a mask, because I dare to acknowledge it. People aren't taking it seriously. There's no such thing as social distancing. There's no such thing as sanitizing with a lot of the people. They're not just ignorant. They're purposefully, deliberately ignorant. This doesn't exist. It's not real. It's fake. We've got more crap and garbage going around social media with Facebook and Twitter, conspiracy theories, fake documentaries using long discredited people who spout lies because they present the agenda that we want. We attack anybody who disagrees, who actually says this is something to take seriously. How dare us actually be concerned about it? We ought to be opening. There's churches screaming about their rights. We ought to have the right to infect everybody in our building if we want. And yeah, that's a slight paraphrase, but really that's how a lot of them are treating it. That if we want to get together and have our services, we should, with no safety protocols. I've heard so many churches have had multiple people infected because they didn't take cautions. And if you look at what they're saying, it's propaganda and lies about Bill Gates being the Antichrist, about injecting the antivirus, about this is what's going to be the mark of the beast. Utter biblical ignorance and stupidity and conspiracies, and the government's using it to take over, and the Democrats are going to use it to avoid the election. No, wait, maybe Trump's going to use it to avoid the election. Maybe there's the dark government that's going to come forth and overthrow everything. And how much easier is it to take over the country when everybody's confined to home? So let's declare martial law. What planet are you people on? And the worst part is, so much of it is coming from people who proclaim themselves as followers of the truth, as lovers of Christ who love the lost, and they're spewing hatred and malice and lies and junk and garbage. We have destroyed our reputation as a church. As followers of Jesus, we have made ourselves look like a bunch of arrogant idiots because we can't acknowledge truth in front of us. Too many people in the church are following a narcissistic, megalomaniac president who spouts lies, who spouts stupidity, like, let's inject ourselves with cleaners, that will keep it off. Yes, he literally said that at a news conference and then tried to say later, oh, I was joking. Yeah, bunk, buddy. And we're eating it up. People are acting like this guy is the next thing to Jesus. And he spews hatred. His Twitter feed, his social media, is just one insult and offense after another. And they excuse it as if it's okay because he's the view they want to have. And then they do the same thing. And they say that they're followers of Jesus. It's disgusting. We no longer have credibility. We no longer are legitimate because we compromised everything for our political views. We throw out misinformation and we don't care. it's hard. It's hard. As somebody who's seeing all these people die, we're going to end up in one of two things, maybe both. As we reopen the country, we're going to infect a ton more people. We're going to see those numbers skyrocket. That I'm not in doubt of. And we're either going to end up having to reclose the country again after who knows how many more deaths. 100,000 already. Confirmed. There's a lot more beyond that were never tested and never confirmed because they died when there wasn't testing available, because they died in nursing homes and apartments because they couldn't be taken to the hospital, that they were never checked. There's a lot more than 100,000. But 100,000 official. We're going to keep going and infecting people, and it's going to be the church leading it, which is disgusting. Instead of stopping it and preventing it and loving people around, it's the church leading the crusade to infect others with our lack of compassion and care. We're going to end up shutting the country down again. Or we're going to just keep watching people die. They want to say a second wave in fall. It isn't going to be fall. We're going to see this. The first wave hasn't even ended yet, and we're just going to increase it over the summer, and we're going to end up with something that's going to last a year. 100,000 people in 3.5 months. I am terrified we're going to end up well over 250,000, and we're still not going to take it seriously. Hopefully they can get a vaccine. But even then, there's 30 to 40% that think Bill Gates is going to use the vaccine to infect people. Idiots. Stupid. Nothing behind that. And because we're going to have so many people refuse to take a vaccine designed to protect them, if we can get it working, it's still going to go around. I know there's people proclaiming Darwin's Law. I'm kind of like, oh, good. The American church is going to wipe itself out because we would rather be dumb than use the intelligence and the wisdom that God has given us to analyze real from false. We no longer do that. We don't care if something's real. We don't analyze and critically think and look at sources and figure out if something's real or not. We just eat up the latest conspiracy because it's cool and it's exciting and it pushes my agenda. It's frustrating because I'm called to love people, I'm called to forgive people, and I get so frustrated with what they do to represent my King, my Lord, the one who brought salvation to me, the one who in the midst of my fears, my doubts, my sin, revealed himself to me. He had no problem with me ever asking if this is true or not. He has no problem with me going, what's your sources, Lord? Because it's laid out there, and he likes when we present truth and know it's truth. I wish we would more often. So yeah, this is just kind of a rambling rant. This is going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to get a lot worse because too many people think it doesn't apply to them. Too many people say, oh, the numbers are inflated when actually they're understated. Too many people say it's all lies and misinformation when they're the ones propagating the lies. God help us and forgive us. God have mercy, not just on this world, but on this country. It's going to take a plague, which we've got, to humble us. And then we still got to get through our willful ignorance to be able to do something. And I'm not real optimistic about our future right now. I'm not optimistic at all. This is going to get ugly. And Lord, I pray my words are prophetic here. We're going to lose a lot more people. A lot more people. We're going to see a lot more damage to the economy. We're going to see far more harm come. One of my other frustrations. A lot of the people that are saying, open the economy, get the economy open, it's the worst thing ever, are people who proclaim themselves as pro-life. They have more concern with an unborn baby than with the tens of thousands that they're going to kill opening up the economy. I struggle with that. I'm absolutely concerned about the unborn children, but I'm also concerned about those who are out living in society now and protecting them and helping them. And when we put a dollar sign over a human life, we have a problem. And we excuse it in all sorts of stupid ways. Oh, but the economy is killing people too. Oh, give me a flippin' break. How many people can you show have been killed because they stayed home for a month? Not anywhere near as many as 100,000 people died because we didn't do it. When the church puts dollars over people, when we put economy over human lives, we've got our stuff out of whack. Way out of whack. And it's Christians leading the charge. When I see Christians saying, I don't need to wear a mask in public, I refuse to do it because I'm going to not live in fear. It's arrogance, it's conceit. It isn't not living in fear. It's living out of complete disregard for anybody around you, complete disregard for reality. It is taking your attitude and shoving it in the face of others and saying, I don't care if I get infected, nor do I care if I pass on an infection. And if you're vulnerable, I don't care about you because my rights to do what I want trump your right to live. God forgive us. We are so backwards with what Jesus taught. We are so far off. I've cut off most of my social media. I don't look at it because so much of it's stupid. It was some of the anger you see now. I was having that every day, all day because of it. But until the church gets over themselves, until those who call themselves Christians realize that it's about following Christ and living like Him, until we get to the point where we realize it is about loving God and loving and serving our neighbor, until we humble ourselves, until we get our pride out of the way, until we stop thinking that we are the only purveyors of truth when we're spreading lies, until we put ourselves where we're supposed to be again, the church has no voice. And it won't. And it won't reach the lost. We want revival. It's got to begin inside of the people in the church buildings first. It's got to be inside those who want to follow Him, actually decide to do it for a change. It's not going to happen until we stop pushing lies and our own desires and our views and our arrogance over the love of Christ. Until we're willing to lay our lives down for our neighbors as Jesus laid His life down for us, we're not doing the world any good. God forgive us. Bring repentance to your church. Cleanse us, Lord, even if it has to be by fire, and it will be.